Hey there, future guitar players. Today I'm going to do a quick lesson, my second lesson, which does not actually involve touching a guitar, and in fact is a guitar lesson. And these are probably the only guitar lessons on the planet that have gone 14 minutes so far without even looking at a guitar. But first I want to tell you there's two types of lessons on this channel. First of all, we've got the more mid-level lessons, which are for intermediate players who played guitar before and know some basic chords and want to learn an actual song. And in this series, which you can identify based on the numbering at the top of the video, this is an absolute beginner series. So if it's got a number in the title and says the word beginner, it's part of the beginner series. So again, on this channel, two types of lessons. One is for more intermediate, and then the beginner lessons, which have the number and the word beginner. So that said, we're doing our second lesson, which does not involve a guitar. We're going to talk about what type of guitar you should actually pick before you begin to play. If you look at my first lesson, which is somewhere on the channel, and if you haven't seen it, please go back and find it, because what it does is explains how I learned and the methodology, basically how I fell into guitar and what kind of genres of music I like and what I played. At this time I actually played pretty much everything, every type of both acoustic and electric guitar, but there was an actual method to the madness. First of all, there is no right or wrong guitar to play. If you already have a guitar and you know it's pretty good, let's go ahead and stick with what you have. There's no need to go out and get a new instrument. But if you have the luxury of going out and buying yourself a new guitar, have the money, let's talk about the different kinds of guitars you can buy. First of all, you need to figure out what kind of music are you actually interested in, and what is it you in fact want to play. Do you want to be like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd and do the soaring solos? Do you want to be kind of an acoustic singer-songwriter type who does, you know, singing and strumming at the same time? Do you want to, you know, have the loud feedback and those power chords? Do you want to play a pop or rock style, or maybe a more classical style? These are all considerations, and these will help you determine which guitar you should buy. Now, the good news is I'm going to say once you become rich and famous, you're going to go out and buy every single kind of guitar under the sun. But for now, we need to figure out what we're going to buy. There are three types of guitars. We've got the electric guitar, and I think you all know what that looks like. That's basically got all the knobs and buttons on the front. You've got your basic acoustic guitar, and you have what is called a classical style guitar. And there are advantages and disadvantages of each type. With regards to electric, those guys are fantastic for solos, for doing leads. It's great if you plan on being in a band and plan on playing with accompaniment. They're also great because you can play those guys completely silently with headphones. And also they've got nice soft strings, which are great for beginners, because strings can be very, very hard on your fingers. With regards to a disadvantage, being a beginner, they're probably not as good for a one-person arrangement. If you look at some of the stuff I'm doing on my channel, these are songs that can be at least transcribed and played as a singer-songwriter type of guitar. And electric may not translate quite as well for that genre. Also, you have to have electricity, so you have to consider the portability. And then you've got the setup time, and also the fact is they can be very, very loud. If you are living in the city, as am I, you need to figure out or think about your neighbors. And if you really want to play the instrument as it's made, you want a nice amp setup, and of course the noise can be a factor, but that could be a good thing too. Next, we've got a classical style guitar, and this looks very much like an acoustic guitar. The difference is, though, it has very soft strings that are made of nylon, and it has a very, very soft sound. It's popular in both classical and pop, and then also, again, classical guitar, like some Bach movements, that kind of thing. It's very, very good for young players because it's very easy on the fingers, nice soft strings. With regards to disadvantages, it does not project quite as well. It's probably not quite as good for strumming with a pick and doing these loud jams. And also the classical guitar tends to be a little more delicate too. And a good one is also very expensive. So we have the pros and cons of the electric and the classical. Now we get to the standard acoustic. The disadvantage of those guys is, well, they have metal strings. And I'll tell you, when you're learning, the metal strings can be pretty hard on your fingers. And we'll talk about that in a few lessons from now. Also, they're probably not ideal for soloing because it's hard to do string bends, and you can't play quite as high up on the neck. However, they are very portable, they're very versatile, and they're common in all genres of music from pop to rock and roll. So you can see where I'm going to go. I'm going to make a decision based on, if you're following me in this lesson series 1, I think you should probably go with the standard acoustic with metal strings, light gauge strings. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about exactly how to pick out that guitar, what your price range should be, what kind of features you need to find, and how to decide if the guitar is really good quality guitar. So we're going to stick with a metal string, light gauge acoustic guitar for this beginner series. And that's about it for now.